My name is Solhan, and this is part. I don't know what part is this right? The, I don't know, 14 I think. No, this is 15. No, wait, 15, 16. Ah, my brain. I couldn't handle it. Ah, you see on the title, but I don't care anymore. Okay, we already done trust, understanding, respect. Now we're gonna continue with the uh no, we are in trust, understanding, respect, and balance. Now we're gonna do reflection, and then tomorrow, stay tuned. Self love. Let's go. Reflection. Yes. Am I bothering you? No. Okay, just checking. It's hard to tell since you always look so into it when you are reading. It makes me scared to interrupt. Well, it's within my expectation to be interrupted when I read here. It's mainly when I'm by myself that I don't like it. Hmm, that makes sense. I guess if you're here in the first place, then you're more ready to socialize, even if it takes a little bit of prudence. It's not so bad to be social if I let others do the work. So it can be healthy to put myself in it in a social environment and every now and then. It's mostly difficult when I don't know anyone or there are too many people or everyone is being too silly for me to keep up with. Yuri glances across the room at Sayori and Natsuki. Sayori has her head cooked, a cocked back, and her mouth open, trying to catch pieces of a cookie that Natsuki is lobbing into the air. But the pieces keep bouncing off her face and hitting the floor. Maybe I should say something? No need. They just ran out of cookie. What a waste. they they really become good friends, haven't they? I'm happy. Siri seems particularly good at making that happen. But the two of them are both on the energetic side. So I suppose it works out well. Yeah, come to think of it, you and I haven't had many chance to talk one on one, haven't we? Though that may be partially my fault, since I'm supposed to be the one engaging in club members. Not at all. I've probably formed a habit of drawing minimal attention to myself. The responsibility is equally on me, at least to display some openness to engage. Well, what about during times like lunch? Do you meet up with friends? I I just read. Oh, but I like it that way. I feel nice to be carried off again after a morning classes. Hmm. Do you always read fantasy? Oh, not always. I suppose it's all I've read recently, but only because I'm in the middle of this series. There are still two books after this one. I guess those long books suits you well, since you spend so much time reading. Well, fantasy may be my favorite, but after that, I'm more or less indiscriminate to genres. I read anything with depth and maturity. Oh yeah? Even like romance? Well, there, there are a lot of books like that have elements of romance in them. Oh come on, Yuri. You know what I meant. What I mean. Monica Lowe's voice. It's a it is a guilty pleasure of mine, so I won't tell anyone if you do too. Maybe more when I was in the middle school. I mean, I was really lonely and people were mean to me a lot. So it kind of felt like, please don't make me think about the past. Sorry, I just got super curious. You know, we should totally pick a romance novel to read. That would be so much fun. Absolutely not. Really? Even if it was just between us. Try asking someone who has no shame, like Nasuki. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Well, I guess it was my fault for pressing you. I'm like that. That I'm like that for things in my past too. You know, things I feel too embarrassed to re-experience. There's nothing wrong with growing out of things. It happens to everyone. For instance, Natsuki's interest in manga reminds me quite a bit how intense I used to be about my own interests. It makes me think that she'll likely grow out of it too. Hey, were you talking about me? Hey, were you talking about me? Um, oh, we were just, oh, we were just talking about how our interests have changed over the years. When did you get into manga, Natsuki? Hmm, like a couple years ago, I guess. I was already sort of into it before that, but I wasn't really going hard until then. Oh yeah? What was it that it inspired you to get more into it? I don't know. I guess, let me think. It was after I discovered a series that I like. Yeah, I was just like really fed up with a lot of things, and I got super into this one series that I really related to. I guess I had an edgy phase where I just hated everyone around me and wanted to be by myself. Hey, kind of like Yuri. Monica? Sorry. That's completely wrong, so it's still cool that you both really found your thing. They're almost like opposites, but it sounds like they help you a lot through hard times. You know it. Um. Wow, what the heck? Is that book even bigger? Is that is that book even bigger than the last one you were reading? Uh, um, it's technically slightly longer, but not by very much. How high do you think it will go if you stack up the whole series? Natsuki estimates by holding her hand above her head. Suddenly, it's like, you can't even see my hand, right? I should get one of those mangas that's like 50 volumes long so that I can say I've read more than you. Not that I have the money for that. Please, that would hardly count when your books only have a few words per page. I know, I was just joking. I could never actually read books like yours. It's too boring for me. Yuri shoots a glare at Natsuki. It's not boring. Chill, I said for me, not for you. I can have my own opinion. I just think it's too convoluted. Terry, are those from the floor? Gross. Also, wash your hands before touching any of my books. But my hands aren't dirty. Just do it. The oils are there even if you can't see them. Fine. Seri trots out the door and Natsuki follows. Yuri, you look a little upset. What kind of nerve does she have to call my hobby boring? Well, she did correct herself. Hardly, she was so condescending. I don't mind if she thinks it's not for her. I really understand that it's not for everyone. But she knows well how much this thing mean to me. So how about just leaving me alone instead of needlessly telling me the things you hate about it? I'm, I'm sorry, Yuri. You may be right. This won't be the last time people have strong feelings about what they like and don't like, especially in a literature club. So I should figure out how to meditate discussion to keep them positive and constructive. For the record, I always be impressed by the level of creativity in your books and also your ability to get through them so quickly. Thank you. Okay, well, this is something that I'll have to think about and revisit. I'm sure I can help Nasuki find some common ground with you. Common ground isn't necessary. I just wish to be respected. That then. Either way, I'll do my best. I'm skeptical when it comes to Nasuki. I trust you, Monica, but I'm skeptical. Next scene. Okay, everyone, we have a special club meeting today. As you know, the literature club is a place where we get to share things that we're really passionate about. But that also means we should be mindful of how we respond to each other's feelings. I think we have a chance to turn on our difference into a positive energy for each other. Being a little dramatic for this. It's important to me. Wait, well, sorry. I just feel like I'm being accused or something. No, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm sorry if I came off that way. But our conversation yesterday made me reflect on the power of language, and I thought it would be a good topic for the literature club, don't you think? I'm pretty sure that we're going to have difference in opinion a lot, so I need to make sure we're prepared to keep a positive atmosphere in the club. If if you say so, sure. The cool thing about language is that it gives us a lot of different ways to express the same idea or emotion. We have a lot of control over how we want the other person to feel when receiving our thought. This goes in for poetry, narratives, casual conversation, basically anything. For example, Terry, what's your favorite food? Um, I have them organized by category. Should I start with snacks or do you mean full meals? Should I include breakfast? Oh jeez. Okay, how about your favorite fruit? Oh, that's easy. Cherries. Really? I always thought cherries tasted nasty. What? Cherries are delicious. Whoa, that's a pretty strong reaction. Well, I just didn't understand how somebody could think cherries are nasty. How does it make you feel? I don't know. Sad? Defensive maybe? Yeah, I got defensive. See, the reason you had such strong reaction wasn't just because I don't like cherries. It's because you felt like your opinion was under attack. But that's weird, right? Something like this is completely subjective. But when I say something like I think cherries taste nasty, I'm using objective language. I'm challenging theory's reality that cherries are delicious with my own way, which is that cherries are nasty. Wait, hold on. How is that objective when you just say it was only your opinion, your own opinion? It has to do with the way our brains interpret the words. You're talking about the reality of cherries, not your feelings about them. Like theory. Let's rewind that and pretend I didn't tell you that I think cherries are nasty. So what is so what if instead of I say like I've tried cherries and they're not for me. It's not the kind of flavor I enjoy. Well, that's fine. As long as you don't call them nasty. Nasty is a nasty word. Okay. So cherries was kind of weird. of a weird example, but I think it gets the point across. This time around, instead of talking about cherries, I just talk about my feelings, and Sally didn't get defensive. So instead of clashing with each other, it's like we receive invitation to talk about our differences. Yuri, you don't need to take notes. I'm not gonna quiz you or something. I, I know that. I was just. Mm. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. You can do whatever you like. But does everyone have any thoughts so far? Yeah, I just feel like I shouldn't have put all my language through a filter just to protect someone's feeling. Well, you don't have to. The choice is yours. How you want to come across to other people. I'm suggesting it is the tool to differentiate into a positive experience rather than an argument. Right, Sherry? Whatever you say, cherry hater. Oh, come on. Actually, I actually like cherries. I was just saying to demonstrate. What the heck? I mean, I'm sorry, Sherry. I'll make it up for you later. How about cherry sundae? You are welcome to do me anytime, my beloved president. Buying your people's loyalty. How deplorable. Oh, I like. Oh, like you would turn down a free Sunday, Yuri. You were certainly a fan of the cupcake I brought in the other week. That was, I mean, I mean, I was reading and not keeping track of them. Oh, that's enough. We're getting off topic. So, now that we have got this in it, how about we try something more relevant to the club? Like manga, right? Let's try to build a perspective and discussion our differences in opinion. Really, do you want to start? Um, well, I rather not. No. Oh, how come? Because I don't see how anything productive can come from that. It's just going to start a fight. No, it'll be fine. That's why I'm here to moderate. Let's just have a calm, rational discussion. Yeah, give me a little more credit. I'm not a child. You don't have to coddle my feelings. I always think it's more respectable to just speak your mind. Respectable. Your expression changes at that word. As Monica recalls, being respected was the crux of the matter of Yuri. Well, well, the point of the exercise isn't exactly like it is fine. I have nothing against anyone personally. You're entitled to enjoy whatever it is you like. I just prefer more depth and nuance in my reading material. I look for stories that are imaginative and sophisticated beyond the surface level. Oh, oh well, that's just a misunderstanding then. I thought you were gonna say mangas for children or something. Like I don't hear enough of that. But there's a plenty. That, but there is plenty of deep manga. I'm not clueless about manga. I've read my own fair share when I was younger. What? Are you serious? How come you never told me? Because I'm past that point in my life, and I really prefer not to revisit it. I prefer more mature things now. Excuse me? Okay, hold on, can I join in here? Let's try to keep things subjective. Because if you imply that manga is immature, then aren't you implying that someone is immature for being into it? Right. Well, maybe it's immature to judge people or having different tastes than you. That, that's okay. Nobody's a major. I've, I've read Natsuki's manga and Yuri's fantasy. I love them. I love them both in their own way. Okay, okay. It's great that you like it, but I still find it boring. Boring isn't subjective. Okay, it bores me. That's subjective. But I mean the thing about this is ridiculous. Do you see why I didn't want to participate in this? I knew it was just going to make people upset. I'm not upset. Like I said, I don't care what other people think. But I always got the impression that you secretly look down upon me, so I'm glad my suspicions were confirmed. It's not true at all. You're making assumptions. You can blame me for getting defensive when nobody ever has a least bit of respect for the thing that I'm into. The only thing I look down upon is when people make fun of me for just being for just being myself and trying to mind my own business. What? Have you looked in the mirror? Tell me again about respect after calling all my interests immature. You can't. Please stop. Please. You don't mean the things you're saying right now. Let's just be friends. I, I didn't mean for this to happen. Well, it did. So please don't invite yourself to try to solve other people's problem next time, okay? Yuri's piercing would send the clubroom into a choke silence as she gathers her things. She leaves. Holy crap. I never heard her sound like that before. She must be so pissed. Well, you weren't very nice either, so I was just saying, how did this happen? It's it's my fault. Yuri wasn't wrong. I shouldn't have tried to moderate a conflict when I know how bad I am at dealing with conflicts. It was really stupid thing for me to do. It's nobody's fault, and it wasn't stupid. Everyone in the club is a nice person. Nobody would have expected this. But I guess we're sensitive about the things we love. Honestly, she kind of brought it upon herself. Like I said, I don't care if you're not into manga, but if you look down on other people for it, that's kind of the point I was trying to make in the first place. It's not sugarcoating things, it's just recognizing, understanding our differences. Okay, but here's the thing about that. Yuri actually looks down on me. It has nothing to do with her word of choice or anything like that. So I see what you were trying to do, but I really think the problem here is her, not just like the way we talk to each other, right? I mean, Yuri isn't like that. She's a lot sweeter than you're giving her credit for. I'm sure she'll be reflecting on this. I actually think everyone should. You, it'll be fine. I'll figure something out. Well, I'm just like saying that instinctively. I'm just setting myself to cause more problems. This wasn't your fault, Monica. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. If you ask me, it's good that the truth finally come out because I can just move on now. But it's fine. I promise. Let's just get our mind off it. This okay? In fact, it's a good opportunity to read some manga without having to worry about feeling superiority complex. Don't be mean. I'll talk or read manga or whatever you want, but don't be mean to my friends, okay? Sorry, I'm just bitter. ev- every everything will be okay. I mean, I don't have the answers, but I at least know that we're all good people and don't want to hurt each other. This will be a learning experience. Monica says that, but her uneasiness is given away by how much she has to force the reassuring tone in her voice. This this was bound to happen eventually. Natsuki and Yuri have always engaged with each other, the least out of anyone, and this is the reason. As Sayuri and Natsuki proceed to distract themselves with manga, Monica signs to herself unstable to shake her worried thoughts. Will the club really have to just come to terms with the fact that some members will be incompatible with each other? Monica desperately doesn't want to admit that, and she knows Sayuri doesn't either. But for once, a solution doesn't seem to be in sight. Part 1. Music. We got more music. My gosh, it's already 26. Oh, that is creepy. I really would like to hear this at night. Oh my god. If just the like musical thing, I think I would be okay. But if like there's a like a person crying sound, so nope, I'm not gonna play this at night. Okay, sorry, let's go. Reflection part 2. Let's go. New day arrives. Terry arrives at the club room earlier than usual. That is not late. As she enters, it appears to be empty still. So she sits down at the desk and pulls out a sheet of paper primed to jot down her thoughts. Terry has made a habit of scribbling her thoughts and feelings onto paper whenever possible, as it tends to serve her as her best inspiration for poetry. My my heart feels vacant because a ship sailed away. Oh, yeah. Natsuki? Natsuki pokes her head out from behind the closet door. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you, but it would have been a lot more awkward if I didn't say anything. I doubt you want me listening on your poetry thing. Yeah, thanks for realizing that. Should I let you finish that up then? Oh no, it wasn't. I mean, I just do it whenever it's convenient, but you're not interrupting. Where's Monica, by the way? Oh, she's out in the hallway. Huh? Why? Well, just in case she runs into Yuri. Sometimes Yuri is too nervous to come into the club room by herself, so. Oh, she's. Does Yuri really let things bother her for that long? She, she can't control her feelings. For some people, it's really hard to cope when you get a bad thought in your head. Maybe you can distract yourself for a little while, but as soon as it's just you and your thoughts again, it comes back. Mm. Hmm? I just want us to have a normal club meeting. It's a lot easier to pretend it never happened if we all just ignore it and move on. I don't want to be bothered by this. It's so stupid. Her opinion of me doesn't matter anyway. It's like it makes me feel really guilty, and I hate that too. It's okay to have feelings. It doesn't make you weak. Let's figure this out. Fine. Only because you're good at this stuff. Let's try come up with a happy thing. Maybe that will help us understand where your bad feelings are coming from. Well, I was happy the way things were before we had to have the conversation yesterday. What what other conversation made you upset? Was it was it Yuri being mean about the manga? Maybe. I doubt it. I doubt it though. Because my friends and other people make fun of manga all the time, but I just brush it off and ignore them. But some things about it really got me this time, and I hate that I'm letting that happen. Is it because it came from Yuri? No? Why, why would that matter? I mean, well, maybe. I just hate, I hate that she thinks that she's much more better than me, just because she likes to pretend to be all sophisticated. Yeah, that that's what is it. It is. At least other people decide that they don't like me or manga or whatever. But Yuri acts like she's too good to even give it a chance. I'm sorry. Everyone deserves a chance. Yeah, exactly. Would you give Yuri's books a chance? Huh? After this? Obviously not. What about before this? Huh? I I would until I got bored, which wouldn't take very long. But if you actually keep an open mind, then it's not hard to realize that a story can be deep and meaningful without being needlessly complicated. I see, but I like Yuri's books. Yeah, but you like manga more, right? Siri shakes her head. I like them both. I like them in different way, but I like them both. I mean, manga is really honest and fun, but and easy just to let go with. But fantasy has quite an intricate and uncover is really rewarding to have some good quiet time together with it. But the most important is that both the manga and the fantasy are true to themselves. So I love them both, and I think there's room for both of them to be in the same club together. And I just feel like maybe they have more in common than you would think. How do you get along with everyone so well? I always get into fights with people. Like first it was with Monica when I was new to the club, and then it was you, and now it's Yuri. And I'm always like this. Oh, that person is being such a jerk. And if they just realized that, then we could at least get along. But nobody else has this problem. I just keep running away from the reality that everybody is just a jerk to me because nobody likes me. And I don't know why. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I hate it. That's okay. Siri puts a comforting hand on Nasuki's shoulder. You're you're a wonderful person. You deserve to be loved as much as everyone else. Everyone has different way they like to communicate. And sometimes that makes it harder for us to understand each other. I think sometimes we get lucky and we make friends who are really good at the same kind of communication, and it feels like you magically connect with them. Connect. But other time, even if both people are really nice, it's easy to it's easy for them to misunderstand each other or to get the communication wrong. It's something that Yuri struggles a lot with too. It can be really hard. It takes a lot of time, a lot of like reflection and self-awareness and vulner, vulnerability, vulnerability. I'm bad at that one. Vulnerability, vulner. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Vulnerability, 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 vulnerability. I'm always have to be the strongest. What do you mean? Tell me about that part of you. Well, it sounds stupid, but I'm really used to people being mean to me. Like my friends and I guess my dad. Like when I don't get good grades or even stupid things like if my room isn't clean. So what am I gonna do about cry about it? If I let myself get upset, then it's just letting them win. I'm better than that. I'm better than all of them. So things always have to be everyone else's fault. It feels like if something goes wrong, then and there's even a little tiny hint that it might be my fault, then I just get really angry and I find ways to blame everyone else. That is that. Do you see yourself as better than Yuri? If I said that, then I would just sound really full of myself. No, our thoughts and our feelings are two different things. Even if we don't like our feelings, we'll have to understand them if we want to learn more about themselves. That part of vulnerability, accepting that we have feelings that we don't like. I I hate that. My feelings make me a bad person because my feelings just want to tell me that I'm so much better than her. That that she's a judgmental know-it-all who stuck in her edgy face that I'm just way above that garbage. But I'm terrible for feeling that way. You're not terrible. You are not your feelings. But you are not your feelings. Say that to yourself out loud. Fine. I am not my feelings. The way that I like to picture it is that those feelings are like your roommates. You like you live in the same house but you're gonna see and you're gonna see each other every day. And even if you can ignore each other most of the time, gonna run into each other every now and then and it's gonna make you feel like poop. So the other way is to get to know each other. You can communicate and learn from them and maybe even help each other change for the better. Does that help you understand? How do you think so much about this stuff? I just have a roommate that can be really hard to get along with. Called depression. Depression. But you're like the happiest person I know. I I am I am not my feelings. I want to be a good person like you. Oh, you little sweetheart. We all good people. You and Yuri and Monica. I think Yuri will eventually learn that about you. Nasaki remains silent, feeling a little overwhelmed. Despite Sayori's kind of reassurance, a complicated mixture of pain and sadness seems to fill her, as though flowing from a wound inside her. Was it a result of her vulnerability? Nailed it. No, it wasn't as No, it wasn't as she is inflicted a wound after becoming vulnerable. It was as though she began to rediscover an old wound, one that cannot simply be bandaged and left alone any longer. Next scene. Yuri, what are you doing all the way over here? I was looking for you.
Please don't yell at me.
Oh, I'm not going to yell at you. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry about what happened yesterday. It was unfair of me to put everyone on the spot like that. Next time I won't just try to jump in and solve everyone's problems. I guess it's a bad habit of mine.
You, you're not mad at me?
I thought you were the one mad at me.
I was so awful yesterday.
Yuri calls out, recalling the details of the argument.
I can't even have a normal conversation without saying something wrong and making everyone upset.
Hold on, that's not what happened at all. Let's talk about this. Yuri pauses for a second, then manages a nod. Monica takes a seat next to her on the staircase.
I'm having a lot of negative thought patterns and I can't get away from them.
What kind of negative thought patterns?
Like everyone hates me. Especially Natsuki.
That's terrible. I don't think Natsuki hates you.
How do you know?
Well, because Monica thinks back at the time that she herself found herself in an altercation with Natsuki, and how display maturity from Monica was enough for Natsuki to reevaluate her own feelings as well. I think Natsuki is just naturally defensive. I think she acts mean when she feels the need to protect herself. But she's really not a bad person. In fact, I think she can be really thoughtful and considerate. She just, well, I guess the way it works is that she wants to receive some degree of kindness first before she feels comfortable returning it.
Oh, but that means the burden is on me. And I don't know how to say things that make people like me. Every time I open my mouth, Yuri shakes her head at herself and tucks her head.
It's okay, Yuri. You don't need to beat yourself up. I think everyone would like you if they had a chance to get to know you.
Well, unfortunately, the opposite is true. That's why I'm not talkative anymore in the first place. Because everyone used to think I was weird and talk about me behind my back. That's just what happens when I draw attention to myself. Natsuki even said that she found it more respectable when people speak their mind. So I did, and then she hated me anyway. That was enough to confirm my tears.
But Sayuri and I like you, and we've gotten to know you a lot by now, right? Yuri doesn't seem to have a response. Hey, what do you think of Natsuki?
I don't think about her.
That's not what I meant, really.
I just...
I was just wondering if you had an opinion about her, of her.
I do.
What is it?
Natsuki seems to bring out the worst in me, and I feel ashamed of it. I like to think of myself as a very sophisticated person. So for someone to just treat me like I'm inferior despite my taste, that's just the worst kind of insult coming from someone like her. And it makes me think about bad things about her. But everyone else seems to like her, so the only explanation is that it's me who's doing something wrong, and my feelings about her are wrong, and I'm wrong to get upset over something so childish and inconsensual.
Inconsensual.
No, Yuri,
Feelings are never wrong. Well,
you're not right.
that's the thing. Feelings are never right or wrong, you know. They're just they're just a state of being that we don't always have control over. But that doesn't mean they have to control us. I feel like that's something I learned about when I started the club. We can hate ourselves for feeling a certain way about things, or we can, just acknowledge that they exist and try to understand them better. I could never be mad at you just feeling a certain way. It's about how you handle them. And I think working through feelings is a great opportunity for teamwork. First, Yuri wears a dejected expression.
You mean you make it sound easy. You're so mature and so good with people. I feel like such a child in comparison.
Oh, oh Yuri, I'm far from perfect, but these are learned skills. They didn't come natural to me either. It's really hard to like reflect on yourself and separate your feelings from your thoughts. First of
I just want to be a good person.
well, I think it takes a good person to get this far.
That's not good enough. I want to be able to communicate with to communicate what how I feel,
How me, how it makes me feel
frustrated and upset when she gets so negative and dismissive of the things that mean so much to me, and how it reminds me of me because I know what it's like to feel misunderstood and angry at everyone. I know that telling yourself you're better than everyone else is just defense mechanism. We're just people. We're fragile and unstable. But I'm just tired of that getting in the way. I can't stand when the peace is disturbed like this.
Yeah, you can focus on your reading when the piece is disturbed, right?
Because because the literature club should be happy for everyone.
Monica looked at Yuri adoration. I feel that Cherry must be rubbing off on me, cause I really want to hug you now. Mm. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable.
No, I mean, well, if you wanted to, then I wouldn't really mind. So
Monica, Monica pushed Yuri into a short embrace. Embrace. You, you are so gentle, and I love when you communicate your feelings. I feel so to I feel lucky to get to see that side of you, and I'm sure Natsuki will too.
I'm going to write her a letter.
Oh, a letter! What a great idea!
Just because I'm not going to talking. I'm not good at talking, especially under pressure. I always let my feelings get the best of me, and I forgot to say all the important things, and I say I don't mean things I don't mean.
Well, I think a letter would be wonderful. Such a nice way to communicate. Yuri faces burdens with determination. Beasts naturally gravitate towards me like they do for you and Sayuri. Sorry. My personality just isn't suited for that, and I wouldn't want it to be. But something I've learned is that friendship don't always what? Don't always just magically appear out of thin air. For instance, I never have seen myself making friends with someone like Sayuri. We're opposite in a lot of ways, but I'm friends with her because she puts so much effort into understanding me, so that's why we can get along. I think I think it was the same with you. You both give me a lot of time and patience, and I wonder if she feels the same way too. Natsuki, it really nods. I always thought that if I wanted to make more friends, I had to be somebody that I'm not. That's there's a type for me or a magical formula I have to follow in order to make someone like me. And that's just like me to think that always so occupied with myself and I fail to understand others. Yuri strikes ahead. Friendship happens when you think about the other person. When you offer time and effort to understand them and respect them and trust that they also want to be a good person. That's that's what I really thought my observation. I'm so freaking sorry sleepy. When you offer time and effort to understand them and respect them and trust that they also want to be a good person. That's what I learned through my observation in the literature club. Observation. Monica is caught by surprise. Yuri has always kept it to herself, so much that it's unusual that hear of her suddenly talking about the club like this. But Yuri gently smiles at herself to herself. You always let me listen to your thoughts about people, and it makes me happy because I learn a lot of things. That's so sweet. I had no idea it meant that much to you. Monica never thought much about it, but in past Yuri seemed to be especially attentive when it comes to problems and concerns of others. Always, always wanting to listen and learn more about her friends in the club. It's true, Sarah and Monica are naturally more comfortable with other people, and can more easily work through situation and conflict. But that doesn't make make them a better person. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and the capacity to improve. And the first step towards improving oneself is reflective self-awareness. It's something that Yuri never gave herself enough credit for, but Monica and recognize. One second.
but that Monica can.
And with that, her confidence in the club is restored. A very shy girl with pretty long hair wandering the bustling lunchtime hallways, her fist pressed into her collarbone. When she finds the literature club president classroom, she stands at the door, glancing all around her before peering inside. Monica is sitting chatting with a group of unknown friends. Yeah, I suspected. This was a bad idea after all. Suddenly, Monica glances towards the door, making the girl in the panic. Girl panic and duck out of the sight. Before she can regain in composure, the classroom door is suddenly open. Yuri, quite surprised to see you during lunch. Yuri squeaks. I respond. Please help me. What? Is everything okay? She shakes her. I don't know how to write letters. Thank goodness. I thought there was some kind of emergency. Monica briefly glances over her shoulder at her other friends. Do you want some help? We can go find an empty classroom or something. Is that okay? I feel bad taking you away from your friends. It's totally fine. I promise we weren't really doing anything. One sec. Monica trots back into her classroom, says something like I gotta go to her friends, then grab a pen off her desk before returning to Yuri. Okay, let's find somewhere quiet. Yuri nods and follows Monica as the two of them sets off. How are you today? Huh? Me? Well, yes. Oh gosh, sorry. I was just caught off guard. I'm doing well today, just tired. I never seem to get enough sleep during the week. How come? I don't know. I think I'm just easily distracted. I get really sucked into things and start neglected time. Do I do that too? Hey, hey, this classroom is empty. Let's go in here. After peering inside, Monica opens the classroom door and the two of them enter. Yuri's moment of relaxation and she watches as Monica pulls up the chair up to the same desk, then obeys. Then obeys as Monica beckons her to take a seat. She stares down at the empty desk. You nervous? I don't want to do this. We, we don't we don't we don't have to do. We don't have to. We, we can we can come up with something else. Yuri shakes her head. It's my chance to do something good. I need to take initiative. Gosh, you must be really determined. I know how hard it is to step out of your comfort zone. I'll be sure to encourage you. Yuri pushes through her anxiety and grabs a handful of paper from her notebook. Then she picks up her pen. Hey, you are left-handed. That's neat. Yeah. Now, now I don't have to worry about bumping your hand. Monica playfully rubs her shoulder against Yuri's. Sorry, I'm just being silly, I guess. Anyway, how about we start by listing the different things you want to say to her? Thanks. I feel embarrassed all of a sudden. Oh, that's okay. It's okay. How about some of the things you said to me yesterday? But
Never mind, I guess I'll try.
Yuri thinks for a moment longer, her attention invaded. Then she writes out the word
Reflection. This is about my reflection on our behavior. The key question is why we act like this to each other, but have been able to separately be friends with Siri and Monica.
That's me.
Yes, it is.
So, Yuri thinks,
I've been able to befriend the two of you because you've taken the time to understand my needs and respect my interests. Hmm. The same goes to for Natsuki too.
we started we started off pretty hostile to each other because I was so worried about getting what I wanted, but she just wanted to be respected more than anything else. Once I stopped making it all about me, she was able to do the same. I want to do that.
I want to do that too. So, what kinds of things do you want to do for her?
I want
I want to do the same thing for her. Feel that I like to receive. I like it when people respond positively to the things I talk about and not just brush me off. I like it when my feelings are taken seriously, and I like it when you and Siri trust that I want to be a good person, even when I'm not doing a good job at it. Let's write this down.
let's let's write those things down.
Okay,
You rewrite some things down. I think the most important thing to remember here is Natsuki is feeling vulnerable. So we should make sure that the letter put her first. It's hard when you feeling hurt, but it never helps to help to just tell someone all things of they're doing wrong. I think first you have to make sure that they know you're ready to respect them and listen to them and admit the thing that you feel you could do better. Definitely you ask what you would like in return. How does that sound for structure? It could be 3 paragraphs, one for each point.
I like that. My thought was so disorganized. I had no idea how to come up with any kind of structure. You're so amazing at this thing.
Oh, stop. You've done so much more than I have. You know, you spend so much time reflecting and being open minded. That's the hardest thing for you to do. All I'm doing is helping you put it on a piece of paper. So, I think you're the amazing one.
Mm.
Michael gives Yuri a hand, Yuri's hand a quick squeeze. But as she let go, she caught by surprise when Yuri curls her fingers to hook Monica's hands in place. For a while, they sit like that in silence, save occasional scratching of Yuri's pen against the paper. Yesterday, you told me something that I'm thinking about a lot. What was that?
The thing about how feelings aren't right or wrong, and that there's just a state of being we needed to come to terms with. But it made me think about it, it made me think about how the person behavior isn't always just how they decide to be. It's also made up of their past experience and their insecurities. I think that helps me see other people as actual people rather than as insignificant side characters who are who are out to get me somehow. Is that how you feel about Natsuki? Yuri nods. But in reality, everyone is always trying their best, and everyone wants to be happy.
Monica peels over Yuri's paper, but to her surprise, Yuri pulls it in closer, partially covering it with her arm. I have to be able to read it to help you out, you know.
It's okay. My thoughts are a lot more organized now after being able to talk to you about it. Now that I'm prepared, I prefer others not to read it. Yuri laughs softly to herself, her expression.
I'm kind of glad to hear that, actually. I'm somehow finding ways to butt into this whole thing. I've done enough damage. But it's also been so wonderful to talking about this. I always thought you were really smart, but Yuri smiles.
I will always be terrible at this thing. People are just so incomprehensible to me. I'll never get the hang of being one.
But listening to you so much that has really helped me make sense of some things. So don't just
So just don't call it damage, please.
Monica gives Yuri a gentle smile.
I can't believe I came to this club looking for fantasy gigs, and all I got was real friends who value me.
Is that a joke?
Of course it is.
I still can't tell if you.
Sorry.
No, no, I love it. Please never change.
As you wish.
Yuri glances at the clock.
We're almost out of time.
Will you be able to finish?
Before the end of the day, probably. But I don't want to come to the club the same day that Natsuki's treated. I'm too shy.
I can give it to her instead, if you like it. If you like.
Yuri nods. As long as you promise not to read it.
Of course, I promise.
Thank you. Yuri exhales.
And the two stand up.
I'll message you when it's ready.
Monica nods.
Good luck.
I'm here if you need me. Yuri returns a nod and the two departed. No meal. 84%. Yay, we have completed all the wallpapers. Let's go. No, one more. You blind? You blind bleach? Oh, this is so cute. Ah. Ara. Ah, we have two more. What do we not get? Okay. The pictures we get is this. The Yuri reflection tool wallpaper and also this. A scene for reflection. Okay, this will be the end of reflection. I'm sorry that I almost fall asleep. This is a long bit. We almost reached 1 hour 10 minutes. The last one is so short. Okay, it caught me off guard. I almost closed my eyes for good. I'm sorry about that. I'm not gonna edit it because I'm too lazy. I'm sorry. I'm a horrible person. Haven't I? Okay, for this episode, I'm gonna change to this. Yes. Okay. Take care, everyone. Tomorrow is probably gonna be the last episode. Well, one of the last until I try to find some I do live or something to do the to like, finish this whole story thing, I guess. But other than that, you Abigail. I tried to do the how does he? Oh, probably because he lives alone. I have like 5 other people in the house right now, I think. But bye bye.